Hi, fellow traders. I hope you guys had a great weekend, that your week has started off good. I'm coming back from a short R&R. I always get to have a little one on my daughter's birthday, which was Saturday, and then my birthday is Friday. So I got another one coming up, but this one could be a little extended because we have a long weekend. But in between these 2 weeks, I really don't get a lot done because we're celebrating. This only comes around once a year, so we tend to try to do it up big. So I'll try to get you caught up on how my week ended and how we're starting out this week. But I want to tell you not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday for our Roadmap to Success series. We're going to be starting, how to trade and grow. Grow is the key word here, a small account. Now, anybody can trade, but actually growing your small account so that you have a fully funded trading account. And if you have a $30,000 account, that's still a small account. Okay, that's what I trade out of every month with TD Ameritrade. I start with 30 grand every month. That's a small account. I only have a $5,000 cushion, and I can't trade that account the way I trade my IB account or a speed trader. I can't do it that way because I do not have near the money that I need to be able to trade that way. Just like when I came in, my eyes were full of dollar signs. I was looking at guys that were making all this money, and I'm like, I want to learn what they do. But what I realized is I can't trade the way they trade. If you have a small account, and at that time, I was really handicapped because I was an insured trader at the time. That was the only way I could go. And, there were specific ways that I had to learn how to trade so that I could grow my account. The beautiful thing about that was it was documented, my whole growth from where I started to when I got to the point where I could open up a regular account. And I tried to kind of teach everybody and show everybody then how it had to be done. There are specific risk parameters that just don't fit the mold. A lot of people I've helped have come in, they've taken classes from other people, they have just a generic, this is what the risk reward has to be, this is how much I have to risk, and all of that doesn't make sense when you're trying to grow your small account. And you're growing it to try to fully fund a trading account so that you can start really making some money. And that's the key. So we're going to start next Wednesday. I'm going to go over all of that A to Z to try to help you guys start growing your account. Now, we've got the fundamentals down. You've got the psychology stuff down. Now it's time to start putting pen to paper, rubber to the road, however you want to phrase it. It's time to get all of that together and start putting it so that you can start growing your account and getting closer to reaching your goals. So look forward to that next week. I'll keep reminding you so you guys don't miss out on it. But we have another session this week, but next week this is where we're going to start. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you shoot me an email. All right. So this is where we ended up last week. Really, really bad week after an incredible month. We had last month, I practically doubled my best month last year. So we're off and running this year. Even with the bad week I had in January, really, really solid month. We started out a little slow last week. And it all boiled down to me having unrealistic expectations. I expected the market to do a certain thing, to be a certain way, to trade us, to give us more opportunities. Now, there was plenty of opportunities in the morning. I just completely screwed it up because I don't even know. But the afternoon trades, like the summertime, there's very little movement. When it happens, if you're not right there when it does happen, you're going to miss it. And then most of the time, it doesn't really give you much anyway. So it's that type of market, but you have to strike early and fast. And after 11 o'clock, if it just doesn't come around, it doesn't come around. So I've been just shutting it off. At 10:30, 11, I just shut my account off. Whether I'm red, whether I'm green, it doesn't matter. I am not going to put myself in a hole. And that's one of the things that you're going to have to learn. If you're growing your account, it's not about taking as many trades as you can in a day. It's about being selective and choosing the ones that's going to pay you and not put you at more risk. You know, that's kind of what this is all about. So that's been my focus. And you know, yesterday I think, what was it? I lost $185.08. You know, I was up. We had a really nice trade at the open, and then I took two more trades. Didn't work out. You know, the market had stopped. The volatility had stopped. It wasn't moving, and I was like, forget it. I'm done. You know, unless something happens, I'm not gonna even worry about it. I think one of the stocks moved while I went to pick my dogs up from the vet, but you know, that happens. Like I said, if you're not there at the right time, you're not gonna make it. So here's the equity curve for this year so far. Here's the hiccup, that third week in January. But look, I mean, we just, it's been amazing. This is actually going up. This is the red week where, you know, we had that down one. You know, so far we almost got $9,000 for the year. And you know, add this week, we do have it. And we're just getting started. So so far so good. I know sometimes it's slow, sometimes it looks like a struggle. But like I always say, you can't look at each day individually. You have to look at this as a body of work. And how I judge myself outside of my execution is I look at my equity curve. If it's headed in the right direction, then I'm headed in the right direction. And that's what it's all about. Doesn't matter if it inches up $100 or $1,000. It doesn't matter as long as it's going up. That's what matters to me. All right, so let's take a look at what's happening in the market. Now, remember, you guys that were with me Sunday, we talked about how we were running into this ascending resistance and how it kind of rejected it Friday. And that if it confirms this rejection, we were probably going to pull back either to the 20 or maybe to the 50 again. But if we don't confirm it, if we establish above it, we can go and start continuing to make record highs. And for 2 days in a row, we've made record highs, I believe. Let's see. This is 390.56. 389. Yep. So we did make it only by about 30 some cents, but we did make a new high today. So even though this is slowing down a little bit, and you know, we have start pulling back just a hair after the market closed, this still can continue marching up as long as this it holds this ascending support, we can continue to marching up. 400 may be on deck this week. So, who knows? But technically, the market's holding up, and it looks pretty good. All right, so first trade out of the gate. This morning, I was a little bit early, but I really messed up. I should have been in up here, but I picked the low of yesterday versus the low of pre-market. I really liked the way this was setting up, and I was saying I'm going to get this when it breaks the low of pre-market. This opened, it popped up a little bit, and I was waiting for it to come through. If I'd have had the line at the right place, I would have gotten in up here and made a ton more money. But either way, this turned out to be a really good trade. Made a decent penny off of it. I only got one cover. It didn't quite get to 276.50. It didn't get there enough to where I could take profit before it started to rip back up, and ended up taking it off. And it pretty much traded in a channel all day. Really didn't give me any trading opportunities outside of the channel until the last 30 minutes of the day, and I wasn't trading then. It did give a good break over this level here up to the top of this channel, but I do not like to trade inside channels, so there was really no reason for me to get back on. I wasn't going to log in and trade inside of a channel, put it that way. Plus, the volume was down. Look at the volume. I mean, less than 100,000 shares. It really got bad. And that's what we're seeing across the board is after 10:30, here the volume died around 10:20. And that's what we're kind of seeing across the board. Look at SQ. Same thing here. The volume just died. Here, I got a short here. Hit the first target. Didn't quite get the 250.50 before it bounced. And you guys, one of the things that I try to show you when I'm in a trade. Now, I don't trade live in front of you guys for you to mirror my trades, because you really can't. What I'm doing is I'm showing you what triggers me to enter and what triggers me, how I find my profit targets, and then what triggers me to get out. And when I'm showing you not just what's stacked up on level 2, but what happens between the bid and the spread, the bid and the ask, when you get to a level. When you start to see that phenomenon happen, and you can verify it with level 2. Not everything's gonna be on level 2, so you can't really rely on that. You just have to rely on being able to read that price action. And that's what I keep trying to point out to you guys. So over time, you're gonna learn it, and you're gonna be able to feel it, so you won't have to sit here and wait for this to stop you out at break even as it's going up. You can lock in the profit here and let it go. So again, we broke back over the opening range high. Once we cleared all of these moving averages, I got in, started taking profit. Didn't quite get to 262. This popped up, but I couldn't get profit here, and it came down, and so I had to take it off. Again, instead of me sitting here holding it, waiting for it to come back to break even and stop me out, I was able to identify what happened. Number one, look at the candle. We know what this candlestick tells us. It's one of the first things you learn is how to read these candlesticks. And then we start looking at the price action. We start looking at what's popping up on level 2, what's going through in time and sales. And it's telling us, get the hell out, because I'm coming in. and that's what we did. So that was our trades on SQ. On Twitter, just did not do anything. It made a nice run up to 60. And man, it got bitch slapped back so bad. It was a shame. And then we tried it again. When we couldn't do it again, I went ahead and took it off. It did try to get through it again. It got slapped back again. Tried it again. It got slapped back again. Eventually it broke over this, but not by much. You know, you didn't get much of a move on that. That 60 level was tough for a long time. But guess what? After market, on earnings, it did gap up to maybe 62.75. Wasn't much. So it really wasn't much in this stock. And again, I showed you guys exactly why I bailed out on this. Riot, disappointed too. We caught the break here. This was the not the pre-market high. This was a level from yesterday, and we broke over it through that channel, and it failed. Eventually, it did get up to around $40.50. Again, these stocks after 10, 30, 11, they just aren't doing anything. They're breaking channels, but they're not really going anywhere. And it's that summertime frustration. That's what happens. The volume goes away, and that's that. So I think after lunch or during lunch, it did push up. I think it broke 41.50 or so. But that was after a lot of choppiness. A big pullback on this before it went back up. But more frustrating price action. And again, it's just like, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it's just like summertime trading. It's just like summertime trading. It can get really frustrating at times. But you have to be patient. If it's not working out, don't sit there and be a bag holder. Just walk away. If it comes back around, you can always get back in. All right, and this was the last trade I took. Peloton, I was trying to catch it on the break. Yeah, I was about 20 cents late getting in. But even if I had got in 20 cents earlier, I still would have got blown out on this trade. So this traded in the channel all the way up until I think after market or right before the market closed, and that moved out, but nothing during the time I needed to. So after this, I shut it down and called it a day. Locked in, and this is good. This is interesting. $808 even. I haven't seen that. It's been it's been a long time. I don't remember it. But $808 even is what we locked in today. And again, I could have kept trading, but why? Why should I keep trading and give back more money? Just keep giving back chunks and chunks until I'm like, oh, I'm down to $300, $200, $300 on the day that I end up with. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Death by 1,000 cuts. So I just shut it down. Now, last week or even on yesterday, had a really good trade out the gate. 2 losses because the volatility's gone. The stocks aren't moving. technically they're breaking down, walk away. Don't give the market any more money. That's how you keep your account. And that's how you keep it growing. You can get back $100 a day, but you can make 3 or 4 tomorrow. And if it starts to slow down, shut it down. Come back the next day. And the market's going to be here. There's going to be opportunities for you. Now, whether you get them or not, whether you can execute, that's another story. But the opportunities will continue to be here. So that's going to do it for me tonight. You guys have a great night, great rest of the evening. And I will see you guys tomorrow. If I don't see you in chat, I will see you in our roadmap session.